Hello everyone. This is the second part video lecture for today. This is also going to be pretty brief. This is going to jump around a little bit because my initial design for today's class had a little bit of lecture, and then we were going to discuss on writing, and then a little bit more lecture. And in that way, I think it flowed pretty well, but right now I'm just going to knock out all the lecturing. So this might seem like it jumps around a little bit. Again, this will be pretty brief, and this is just going to cover the lecture for today. And this, again, uses the PowerPoint from this week, which is called Development and Clarity in Writing. It's the Class 8 PowerPoint. So in the last lecture, I discussed stasis theory and how that relates to structure. We're kind of moving on in a random way. I have something here about outlining as an effective pre-writing strategy. I know some people don't outline. You're going to have a reading for Friday. It's very short. It's actually that Burroway handout that I wanted you to bring to class today. We were going to discuss that in class, but we're just not going to have time to do it. But that Burroway handout essentially details a couple different strategies for pre-writing, depending on sort of how your brain works. Outlines work very well for me. There's another concept called quilting, where you just sort of piece together. You might write the ending, and then you might write the climax, and then this part, and you sort of piece it all together. You quilt it together. That doesn't make any sense to me. So for outlining, I'm an outliner. I'm never going to make you do an outline. I just want you to be aware of these different pre-writing strategies and how they can be used as tools for you. My outlines, you all know how to do an outline. So I'm not going to go through this word for word, but there's a couple things I want you to think about. So I had this professor in grad school who's a novelist. He's written like 40 novels. He's actually very well known. But I remember having him in class and him describing his outlining process. And essentially his outlines were longer than the finished novels. They were so hyper detailed with everything from, this sentence is then going to transition into this sentence in this way. He was so meticulous with his outlining that they were, he might have a 300-page outline for a novel that's 250 pages. It's insane. Me personally, I like to think of it this way. My agent doesn't use the word outline. She uses the word roadmap, and I like that idea. So my outlines are more of just a very general map of, all right, so this needs to happen, and then this needs to happen, and then this needs to happen. I can actually, let me find a good, here's my personal laptop, but I'm going to just show you, oh wait, no, that's not what I want. Just show you the working outline from the novel I'm working on right now. Just to give you an idea. So my outlines are very just general. This example, it is really just, all right, chapter 6, these bullet points have to happen. It's very generalized. It's not nothing extensive. It's just bullet points. This needs to happen, then this needs to happen. Moving on from there, and this is completely random. I know we're jumping all over the place. Oh, that's for the Burroway reading that we're not going to do today. I wanted you to also read the clarity section of the Pocket Style Manual. I actually don't have my copy here. It's on campus. But essentially, I think this short reading is very helpful in helping students to conceptualize how to write something that's clear and cohesive and concise. And really, psychologically, as you are working on, sort of working through the process of writing, you need to be thinking about how clarity, how this sort of cohesive set of standards or set of conventions that you're using, how it all comes together. So your purpose, having a clearly defined purpose helps with clarity. Having a clearly defined audience, define the language or tone necessary, having a plan. Like I said, I'm an advocate for outlining, but you don't have to. And essentially what this does is once you have all of this preliminary stuff figured out, it makes the approach much more efficient, and that's what I want you to be thinking about. I can't stress enough how much all of this keeps coming back to author, audience, and purpose. So we're not going to hit development too much today. We're going to do that on Friday, or if you are in the longer class, we're going to hit that next Monday for you guys. So just watch these and then be prepared to discuss on writing when we have our virtual session.